Operation change out the door handles. I'll show you on the other side where there's a window crank on the door pull here. If you look at the threads on that little puppy, it's stripped out. The way that these work, there's actually a screw that holds the handle into that little notch back there. And everybody complained about them falling off and then eventually stripping out. So without changing this whole son of a bitch here, which is basically a mechanism that goes to a rod that comes back to the door latch, and that's what opens the door from the inside. What I've done on the other side is drilled a hole in the center of it, just about to where that notch is, and then cut threads in it. In just a second, I'll show you how that makes sense. So unfortunately, I don't have the original handles to compare to as far as door pulls are concerned, but I did some digging and found that a certain model of Mustang in the same year runs this. So this one's actually part numbered C7, which means 67, but it's the same spline except it accepts a screw. So I'm going to change over the window cranks to a threaded screw-in type, and both door pulls will have an actual door pull rather than a window crank to open them up with. A little more appropriate. And I like that these handles have got metal knobs on them, which are a lot less likely to break, and they look cool. So it's coming next. Just a wild guess, but I'm thinking when you had the interior redone, Papa, that the door panels were made of carpet. And at some point it must have sucked some of the fabric into the window regulator here. Just a wild guess. If you figure like I do, you would think that that metal would be hardened, but I already found out on the door handle there that it's not. It's actually really soft. I got this tiny little drill bit to go that far in there without snapping off, and that's plenty far enough to run some threads and get some screw ready. Of course, hopefully this doesn't happen. However, if it does happen to you, like it happened to me, and your tap snaps in the hole, in this application at least, you can weld the tap in there and then cut off just a tiny little piece of the end of that nub and then thread out your tap, because the inside of the handle shoulders at the spline, so you don't technically need that extra end. It'll still set at the same depth. So anyways, styling Eddie and a piece of cake. Lock function, open function. Window works awesome. Plenty of room for the door panel.